I'm back again, and we are getting one day closer to finishing our story. Letters from Felix, A Little Rabbit on a World Tour. It is by Annette Langen and Constanza Droop. I have some other videos, and they're numbered day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that you should watch before watching this, just so that you can see how the story's unfolding and what's happening to our main character, Felix here. And remember, when we're reading, or when you're reading or listening to a story, that you should be stopping every now and then to think about the characters, to think about the setting, to think about the plot. Characters are who the story is about. Sometimes it's people, sometimes it's stuffed animals, sometimes it's robots, sometimes it's, I don't know, something like a chair, right? The setting is when and where the story is taking place. Some stories have two settings. It'll start inside somebody's house and go to outside on a farm. Some stories have one setting, it's in the forest. Some stories have a lot of settings. This story happens to have two main characters, Felix, this little world-traveling bunny, and Sophie, who is the little girl who owns Felix, who is the owner of this stuffed animal. There are other characters in the book too. Sophie's family, her mom and dad, her brother and her brothers and sister, right? But our main character is the one who the story is mostly about. And this has a lot of different settings because Felix is traveling. So one of the settings is at Sophie's house. Most of the time when she gets a letter from Felix, it is at her house. She has read a letter in her treehouse, which would be another setting. And Felix has a bunch of different settings because he has traveled from London to Paris to Italy to Egypt to Kenya. And now this little traveler has written us a letter from New York in America. So let's see. December in New York. Hey, Sophie, I have taken a plane to New York. I'm getting so good at not being seen that the people in the airport didn't notice me at all. This is an enormous city, I tell you. The buildings reach up, high up into the sky, all the way into the clouds. That's why they are called skyscrapers. There's always something going on here. You can always hear police sirens or honking taxis. Everything here is very big. There's a huge park that is 2.5 miles long. You can ride in a boat there and even ski in the winter. An enormous statue of a lady is standing in the harbor in the middle of the water. She wears a long dress and is holding a torch that is bigger than our house. Just imagine it. Today, it snowed like crazy, and Christmas decorations are hanging everywhere already. Do you know what? I miss you. I'm coming home on the next plane. I'm looking forward to seeing you a lot. Till soon. Your Felix. So each letter that Felix has written to Sophie, he's said where he is and what month it is. So now he's finally, can you see? He's finally in December. And he's in New York. There he drew some skyscrapers. Here he's talking about that the skyscrapers reach into the clouds. And he said there are Christmas decorations everywhere. And then here's the plane that he will be riding in to go home. So I want to think about how Sophie might feel. What do you think? His last letter that she just read said he's coming home on the next plane. He's in the United States, and she misses him so much. So how do you think Felix made Sophie feel when he said, I'm coming home on the next plane? Excited? I think so. Happy? Yes. Maybe even a little nervous? And maybe she's a little anxious because she wants to know when he's coming. He didn't say, I'll be home in 2 days or I'll be home on Wednesday. He just said, I'm coming home on the next plane. Well, I'm excited for Sophie. Sophie's heart leaps with joy. That means she's happy. Felix must be already on his way home. Then she rubs her forehead, thinking hard. She's heard of skyscrapers before, but was Felix exaggerating about the big lady in the harbor? It doesn't matter. When her dear cuddly rabbit comes back home, her room will look really great. Filled with excitement, Sophie cleans up and sticks the Christmas star decorations on the window. Then she hears Mom calling, "Children, come look." Whenever Mom says that, something special is happening. Sophie runs out to the hall, and there stands Aunt Etta with her arms wide open. They hug and hug and hug until at last, Sophie lets Aunt Etta talk. So, here's Felix, and he is holding on to what is called the Empire State Building, and it's a very tall building among a lot of other tall buildings in New York. And here is the lady that he was talking about that's standing in the middle of the water, and that's the Statue of Liberty. Yes, she is very, 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 very tall, and she represents America having a bunch of different people here, and that all are welcome to live here. On her trip, Aunt Etta had seen lots of things. She had even been to New York. What do you know? Sophie thinks, and she asks her aunt about the big lady in New York. Oh, yes, says Aunt Etta. She has a real name. She is called the Statue of Liberty. Then things get really exciting because Aunt Etta opens her suitcase. She has brought little presents for everybody from her trip. Sophie actually receives a miniature, that means little, Statue of Liberty. It is so small that Sophie can easily hide it in her fist. That night, Sophie and her brothers and sister are allowed to stay up later than usual. Together, they look at Aunt Etta's photographs. Then Aunt Etta sleeps in their room. So if you look carefully, here's Sophie, and here's her mini Statue of Liberty, and then her siblings are looking at their things, and there's Aunt Etta. So she's a new character in the story. Well, my friends, tomorrow will be the end of our story about Felix. I hope you think about the characters and what's going on, the plot, what happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, and we're getting to the end now. And I hope you can share things that you liked about this story with somebody at home. You can write about it, you can share it with me. It's your choice. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.